As people age, the most obvious and discouraging symptom is probably the loss of energy. Each of our 70 trillion cells has its own energy factory called the mitochondria. This is where energy in the form of adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, is produced from the food components such as glucose. ATP is the energy currency in the body. Without ATP, there's no power to run your cells. Organs and muscles are of course built from cells, so if the cells are out of power, the body cannot function properly. The result is fatigue throughout the body. Perhaps then it's no surprise that as you age, the quantity of the ATP in your cells decreases, and you feel less energetic. The D-Ribose may help to counteract this effect by maintaining higher levels of ATP throughout the body. This aids the mitochondria and it leads to delayed cell death and increased longevity. Ribose is a sugar and it's made in your body when you metabolize glucose. D-Ribose is the building block of ATP, the cellular energy currency. ATP is the molecule that contains very high energy bonds that can be used to power important chemical reactions in the body. The mitochondria make sure that the body has sufficient levels of ATP for all of these functions. Only when your cells have both the energy required to perform their functions and the materials to make ATP can the rest of your body properly function. When you ingest glucose-containing food, your body processes it through multiple pathways. One pathway generates ribose, which signals the body to synthesize ATP. Another pathway activates the breakdown of glucose through glycolysis, harnessing the released energy to form ATP through other processes. D-Ribose supplementation provides the body with more building blocks for the ATP. The more ATP molecules that are synthesized in a cell, the more energy is available for the cellular functions. This process occurs in every cell in the body, including the cells that comprise of the adrenal glands, the muscles, and the brain, powering all the processes that are required to keep you alive. Since ATP creation occurs within the mitochondria, diseases affecting the mitochondria often cause body-wide disturbances, including hormone and neurotransmitter imbalances, muscle weakness, gastrointestinal disorders, neurologic issues, and sensory impairment. A mitochondrial dysfunction may therefore manifest as one of many of these symptoms. In the case of muscle cells, a lack of ATP production leads to muscle weakness. In the case of adrenal cells, reduced ATP leads to a decrease in cortisol production. In the hypothalamus, in the level of the cortico-releasing hormone is reduced, and so on. Eventually, such dysfunctions can lead to cell death, causing serious issues throughout the body. Ribose supplements can alleviate the symptoms of mitochondrial dysfunction and thus help to alleviate fatigue and to revitalize the cells. Collagen is affected as we age. Collagen is a crucial protein in the body, found in connective tissue such as the skin, the bone, the joints, and the muscle. While you can't take in enough collagen to completely erase the wrinkles in your skin, collagen supplementation has been shown to improve joint stiffness and to alleviate some muscle pain. Therefore, taken together with D-Ribose, the collagen could be a significant step towards adrenal fatigue recovery, aiding the body in healing and slowing some of the effects of aging. In addition, just as ribose is the building block of ATP, collagen is the building block for many proteins in the body. Collagen contains many amino acids that the human body cannot generate on its own. These amino acids must be consumed by eating protein, especially meat, or through proper supplementation. Collagen supplementation is thought to be particularly helpful with inflammation, joint pain, and muscle function, all of which are often affected by adrenal fatigue. Thus ribose and collagen can work together in your muscles to decrease pain, to help to increase your energy levels and get you up and moving again. To recover from adrenal fatigue, proper functioning of the adrenal glands must be restored. As this happens, the neuroendometabolic stress response system, which is responsible for handling stress in the body, can then rebalance itself and bring the many processes in your body back into sync. The adrenal glands are part of the neuroendometabolic stress response system, so an essential part of the recovery is ensuring that your adrenal glands have enough energy. It's also crucial that your other cells in your body have enough energy to function properly, especially because so many of the body's systems are affected by adrenal fatigue. Some of these essential functions include creating hormones such as cortisol, clearing waste out of the cells, and detoxifying the cell matrix. All of this requires energy from ATP. When ribose is present at sufficient levels in the cell, it stimulates the formation of ATP. When this occurs, there's plenty of ATP to perform cell functions. In normal healthy cells, enough ribose is present because the pentose shunt from glucose is able to keep up with the demand. In some cases, however, as in those with chronic stress, the cells cannot keep up with the demand. This is when the cells begin to fatigue. This is why ribose supplementation can be beneficial. Ribose is not directly available in the diet. It can only be created in the body when it's broken down from glucose. This breakdown process takes energy. If you're already low on ATP, this is one more drain on your body's energy reserves. Therefore, the supplement is a quicker way to provide your body with the ribose so that it can then build the ATP, activate it through the mitochondria, and use this energy for the cell's functions. Adrenal fatigue occurs because the body is under constant stress. This chronic stress can be due to a work situation, a relationship, or even a previous injury or illness. Sometimes the stress is itself caused by an underlying condition, such as an autoimmune disease or a mitochondrial disorder. This stress on the body triggers the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which acts on the adrenal glands to generate more cortisol. Cortisol helps the body to handle stress by managing its inflammatory response. It both frees up sugar to use for the formation and the activation of ATP, and it regulates its own pathway, which is known as a negative feedback. When the body has responded sufficiently, the cortisol acts on the hypothalamus to turn the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis off. In those who are suffering from adrenal fatigue, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis does not function properly. The adrenal glands can't keep up with the demand for the cortisol. Cortisol levels start to drop. This means that the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis cannot be turned off, and the body keeps pushing for more cortisol. Eventually, there's not enough material or energy to create the cortisol. Ribose supplementation provides more energy to the adrenal glands. This gives them a boost in making the cortisol. Ideally, this helps in the later stage of adrenal fatigue, when the cortisol levels have dropped because of its long-term demand. Ribose will also help if the cause of the adrenal fatigue and hormone imbalance is actually a mitochondrial deficiency. If a dysfunction in the mitochondria is the underlying cause of the symptoms, D-Ribose will help to bring the body back into balance. The body responds holistically to stress. This means that usually more than one pathway is affected, as is the case with adrenal fatigue. The mitochondria are extremely important to the overall function of the body, especially when dealing with stress. The neuroendometabolic stress response is the body's whole system approach to handling the stress. One component in the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, as discussed above, the neuroendometabolic response, also includes the mitochondria and how they keep the body and other functions going. In particular, detoxification of neurotransmitters and hormones that are detrimental to our health requires the energy of ATP that's harnessed by the mitochondria. The mitochondria power the cleaning of the cells and the extracellular matrix. Those with adrenal fatigue often have many toxins that have built up in the body, so it's important for the mitochondria to function properly. D-Ribose supports the mitochondria, which in turn support the detoxification of the extracellular matrix. D-Ribose is also unique in that it doesn't raise blood sugar, unlike glucose and fructose, even though it's also a sugar. It therefore enhances the energy flow without causing hyperglycemia. D-Ribose is generally safe as a short-term supplement for those who are recovering from adrenal fatigue. However, D-Ribose side effects include diarrhea, nausea, headache and stomach discomfort. It's also been shown to cause a drop in blood sugar levels. This might seem counterintuitive given that the D-Ribose is a sugar, but because it's a sugar, it triggers the secretion of insulin. Insulin is the hormone that's released by the pancreas, and it manages the breakdown of glucose, the main sugar in the human diet. When taking a D-Ribose supplement, however, the insulin breaks down glucose in the bloodstream, despite not having consumed glucose. This causes a drop in blood sugar. If you have diabetes or hypoglycemia, or are otherwise sensitive to changes in your blood sugar, you shouldn't take D-Ribose. If you take any prescription drugs or other supplements that are shown to decrease blood sugar levels, you should also be careful of the combination. Always take D-Ribose with food or other compounds such as collagen to reduce the metabolic swings, which are especially common in those who are weak or who have sensitive bodies. The combination of D-Ribose and collagen is ideal to provide metabolic stability, increased energy, and to support the adrenal glands in times of stress. It's very important to know that depending on the level of adrenal fatigue or stress response, there may be different D-Ribose side effects. Those with more sensitive bodies might not be able to handle the extra boost in energy because the D-Ribose could over-energize them. If this is the case, simply decrease your dose or try taking the supplement with food. As with all supplements, be sure to check with your healthcare provider to ensure that there's no other potential drug interactions and that your lethargy and low energy are being addressed effectively. For more information on herbs, supplements or health conditions, check out my website.